Hello and welcome. In this video, I am going to take a look at Mythic Britain and Ireland. And this is a source book that is made to be used together with the role-playing game Vaesen. With this book, you have a lot of new material to use in your adventures and scenarios that originates from the British mythology. The core rulebook of Vaesen has been released both in Swedish and English, but this book is only released in English. Just as the core rulebook, this is illustrated by the fantastic Johan Egerkrans, and it's written by the legendary game designer Graeme Davis. I hope I got the name right there. Here on the cover we see some horrible being probably mocking someone from the society or one of the investigators. Let's take a look inside the book. On the first page we see here, it's based on the book Vaesen by Johan Egerkrans, Mythic Britain and Ireland, and the lead writer is Graeme Davis, and there is a lot of other people also that have been working with this book to realize it. In the table of contents, we find Mythic Britain and Ireland in the first chapter, and here we see some background story. The second chapter is about the society. That is also one of the big things in Vaesen. We have the third chapter here, which treats supernatural creatures. And then we have 3 different scenarios or adventures. We will take a look at the 3 first chapters here, but we will not go into the adventures because I want to save them for you who probably wants to play it. Apart from the contents, on the next page here we have a preface. It's a beautiful text and fun to read by Graeme Davis, who is a legendary in game design and has a very interesting background. And he's also talking about why and how he got so interested in the myths of the UK during his youth, and also a little bit about his background and career. If we go then into the chapter number 1, we see a beautiful map over the islands here, and this is more or less an introduction of the islands of the British Islands. We have an explanation about the 4 nations. We have Scotland, Wales, Britain, and Ireland, and the old ways and the new. So here you have, it's like a history lesson, a really interesting one also, with all the nice things got out. So it's a compressed, really nice overview over the history. We have some important cities that are important in the game. In this book, we also have some of the stuff that happened in those cities. I cannot guarantee that everything is true, but it's nonetheless very enjoyable to read. And then we have a section here about rural life. London, heart of empire. Here starts also the section about London. London is the main city, like Uppsala was in Vaesen, the core rulebook. So there is a lot of information about London and places, churches, and buildings, and so there are already 10 pages of information. And it ends with a beautiful map that I remember from being last time in London, even though this is a pretty much older map. After that, in the chapter 1, we have non-player characters, and this is not necessary for players to read. This is non-player characters that the game master can just pick up during play, kind of generic characters that can also be, of course, filled in with more information, but it's good to have as a list and a table to just pick and choose when you play. I should also say that this book is not a rule book. There are no information on creating characters or a lot of role tables and extensive gear lists. This is simply focusing on the British myths and the Irish mythology. Here we have some celebrity encounters. Real people. Charles Babbage, for example. And we also have Jack the Ripper, Sherlock Holmes, Oscar Wilde, and William Butler Yeats down here. And then we continue with societies and groups. And here is where it gets interesting. Mysterious places and mysterious societies. Next section here is about parallel worlds. We come here into fairies, wild hunts, and then we come to the second chapter, the society. And the society is like a counterpart to the Scandinavian society that was described in the rulebook, in the core rulebook. So here we have also some new archetypes. You can, of course, use the old archetypes as well, but these are tailored to this part of the world and this book. And next section here, or the chapter here, is supernatural creatures. And here we come into the bestiary of the mythology that is specific to this book. We have a banshee, you see here. We have a black dog, boggart, Glaistig, Dullahan. I don't know all of these, but they look really funny and scary at the same time, of course. Let's see what we have more. Hags. Hag is something that is probably this place is full of. Here we have Jenny Green Teeth, and there was also another Jenny Iron Teeth in Glasgow I read earlier. A lot of Jennies in the hag business, it seems. We have a knocker. Yep. And we have Leprechaun, which is quite famous. And then we have a Knuckleavy. Looks awesome, but I'm not really sure what it does. Pixies. Puka. Redcap. We have Selkie. And some mermaid, neck, Nisse and Vettir, troll. So, after this, here starts the first adventure. So, we won't go through this. To me, this part of Europe is where all fantasy originates from. I mean, it's so rich of mythology and, of course, history. I mean, the Vikings were there and the Celts and everything mixed together. It's such a boiling pot of history and of course mythology that makes this region so famous. I think that this book makes a really, really great complement to the original core rulebook. And even if you're not going to play the game, it's a joy to just read and look at the images, because it's so well written and laid out. And before we go, I almost forgot. In the end of the book, you have some extra tables here that is like a complement to the tables in the core rulebook, because here are some expanded professions, and you also have a life event table here to use when you create your characters. So, this was the book Vaesen, Mythic Britain and Ireland. And I can really recommend you to get it if you like the atmosphere of Vaesen and you want to expand that onto the Channel Islands or the UK. This is the end of this video. If you have any comments or anything else you'd like to point out, please write it in the comments. I'll be happy to read it and answer. See you next time. Bye.